for India and Indians.
Lord, we thank you for our country, India. On this Independence Day, I am reminded of all those who have sacrificed for my freedom, following the example of your Son, Jesus Christ. Let us not take our freedom for granted. May we always remember that a very high price was paid for our freedom.
There is so much to being an Indian that one can never be proud enough. India is the largest democracy in the world, with a civilization that is more than 5,000 years old. The variety in languages, cultures, lifestyles, cuisines, climatic conditions, scenic beauty, architecture, traditions, inventions, etc. are breathtaking. India is an emerging global scientific and technological superpower with a diverse environment in flora and fauna. Now, we present the song Mujhe Garv Hai by the Shillong Chamber Choir.
मुझे गर्व है हिंदुस्तान पर मुझे गर्व है तिरंगे पर मुझे गर्व है हिंदुस्तान पर मुझे गर्व है तिरंगे पर जग में है जो टूटे रिश्ते आओ हम जुड़े इससे मुझे गर्व है हिंदुस्तान पर
Now, let us pray for God's blessing and His precious protection over us and our country. وأن أبي هريرة قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ليس غنى عن كثرة أرضي ولكن غنى نفسي رواه Bukhari. The Prophet said, independence does not come from having an excess amount of things. Rather, independence is really internal contentment.
भगवद गीता सार द्वितीय अध्याय श्लोक 38 सुख दुःखै समे कृत्वा लाभालाभौ जयाजयौ ततो युद्धाय युज्यस्व नैवं पापमवाप्स्यसि. Fight for the sake of duty, treating alike happiness and distress, loss and gain, victory and defeat. Fulfilling your responsibility this way, you will never incur sin.
A reading from the second letter of St. Paul to the Corinthians, chapter 3, verse 17. Now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom.
To that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country obey. Where the night is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free. Where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic war. Where words come out from the depth of truth into that heaven of freedom, my Father. Let my country obey. Where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection. Where the pure stream of reason has not lost its way into the journey desert, stand and take time, where the mind is left over by you into ever-widening thought and action. Into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country obey. Into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country obey.
If there is one place on the face of the earth where all the dreams of living men have found a home from the very earliest days, when man began the dream of existence, it is India. Good morning to all on this August occasion. As a young nation, we cherish our freedom because of the tremendous cost at which it was attained.
My country, in thy days of glory past, a beauteous halo circled round thy brow, and worshipped as a deity thou wast. Where is thy glory? Where the reverence now? Thy eagle pinion is chained down at last, and grovelling in the lowly dust art thou. Thy minstrel hath no wreath to weave for thee, save the sad story of thy misery. Well, let me dive into the depths of time, and bring from out the ages that have rolled a few small fragments of these wrecks sublime, which human eye may never more behold. And let the guerdon of my labor be my fallen country, one kind wish for thee. To India, my native land, by Henry Louis William Thoreau.
से सजा भारत अनोखा राग सोनागिनियों से सजा भारत अनोखा राग है ये प्यार का संगीत है ये शांति का गीत है ये एकता का राग है हर अनोखा राग सोरागिनियों से सजा भारत अनोखा राग अनोखा राग भारत के इस एक तारे पे गूंजे है जो जो रागिनी सब मिल गई एक धुन बनी इस देश की रीत एक है धड़कन एक ताल में सुर अनगिनत गीत एक है ये देश सबका देश है सबका ऐसा राग है सोनागिनियों से सजा भारत अनोखा राग है भारत अनोखा राग है प्रभु के अनुराग है सोनागिनियों से सजा भारत अनोखा राग
Literature has played an important role in history. It has been used and is still being used as a tool of propaganda. At the same time, it would be safe to say that literature has played a huge role in pretty much every major revolution in history. As we celebrate 73 years of independence, it would behoove us to remember the role of pre independence literature in our freedom struggle. Newspapers like Bande Mataram, founded by Bipin Chandra Pal in 1905, Jugantar Patrika, founded by Barendra Kumar Ghosh, Abhinash Bhattacharya, and Bhupendranath Dutt, 1906, and Harijan, founded by Gandhi in 1932, sought to make Indian citizens not only socially and politically aware, but also unite them for one common cause. Pamphlets written and distributed across India provided critical information and served as a propaganda against the British. However, many intellectuals of the time also considered it important to use fiction and poetry for a patriotic purpose and to create a nationalist discourse.
As we celebrate 73 years of independence, we bring to you the course of events leading to Indian independence. We highlight the Black Era, in which literary works required publications under the pseudonym. The oppression faced by Indians was immense. Tortured and wounded souls of Indians needed literary medication to nurse these wounds and instill the fire for freedom among the people. Powerful and revolutionary writings were publicly burnt, and poets and writers sent to jail for going against the government. Thus ended the poet's career. The fire instilled by them died out. To keep this fire burning, writers undertook pseudonyms to publish the pieces of literature to nurse the wounded Indians and ignite the fire and zeal for freedom, to keep ablaze the notion for liberty. Today, we unveil to you these hidden poets and their pieces of excellence in the form of a short presentation, quilled by patriotism, literary footprints in the walk of freedom. So sit back as we take you on a journey starting from 1857, our first war of independence.
The revolt of 1857 forms one of the most important chapters in Indian history of the struggle of Indian people for liberation from British rule. It shook the foundation of the British Empire in India, and at some points it seemed as though the British rule would end for all time to come. What started as merely as a sepoy mutiny soon engulfed the peasantry and other civilian population over wide areas in northern India. The upsurge was so widespread that some of the contemporary observers called it a national revolt.
Rani Lakshmibai was one of the most powerful leading personalities of the First War of India's independence that started in 1857. Rani Lakshmibai was the queen of the princely state of Jhansi, which is located on the northern side of India. The life history of the Rani of Jhansi Lakshmibai, who preferred to sacrifice her life at the young age of 23 years in battle, is very inspiring. She surprised the British by showing extraordinary fighting spirit and valor in battles fought at Jhansi, then Kalpi, and lastly at Gwalior. The valor and brave death she chose, which gave inspiration to the patriots belonging to the Gadar party during the First World War, the organization of the Shahid Bhagat Singh, and to all